Hey, so welcome to the Body Mastery. If you found this video, it's because you've looked at some of the other ones and I've gone, if you're not sure how to set the core, go and look at the video. So welcome to the video that helps you understand a little bit more of how to pull into the belly from a Pilates perspective. You'll hear some different things, and my best advice is to try different ways and see which one suits you the most, especially if you have some back issues. I myself have had a slip disc, so I know sometimes I need to maneuver myself around to really get the best place for my body. If something hurts, come out of it, back off, try something a little bit different. In any of our sessions, you should not leave with a back pain. Muscle work, but not pain, they are different. If you have any questions, please do write in and we're very happy to answer as best we can, okay? So I'm going to come down on the floor, and maybe just to start off with, you watch this one and then try it after. So there's some points on the body that are useful to know. And if I lay down, what you have is the pubic bone, and there's these two bones that, depending on the shape of your body, they stick out here. So that's the front of your pelvis. What we often say is to put the heel of the hand on that bone and the fingers point to the pubic bone. Then when you bend your legs, and don't worry how wide the legs are for the moment, the hands form this triangle shape. And often what we think in Pilates is that this triangle is parallel to the floor or to the ceiling. We rest our cup of coffee there, and that coffee is horizontal, so we're not spilling it. Now, when you're there, we don't want it to feel an effort. So for me, I often have my pubic bone a little bit higher than my hips when I start. I still have a small space in my back, but not very much at all. So that's the other gauge, that you can slip your fingers beneath your belly button, and there's often this small space. So that small space is what we say is the right curve in the back. But what's right? We're all different. What often happens is there's a big gap here, so there's some feeling of having to soften the ribs. If this is challenging for you, I would put a towel underneath your ribs or beneath your lower back and the belly button, because it enables you to relax into it. And that's what we want to start. We want to start with this feeling relatively relaxed. And relaxed is obviously relative for us all. But if you're thinking you need to make a space here and you're like, I got the space, Lisa, I got the space, there's a lot of work. We don't want that, okay? The other thing that often we say is to allow the lower back to push into the floor. For my body, if I do that, I actually feel tense. There's too much happening. So it doesn't work for me. That's why I say put the towel there if you feel that allows you to relax the back muscles. Or as I do, I have a slight tilt. If you're pushing the back into the floor, because it assists your body, and it's fine, just make sure you're doing it softly, not, oh yeah, my back's in the floor, yeah, because look at the tension. So we're always looking at the whole body and seeing what tension is where. And what is tension that's not needed. Now once you've figured that out, which I know can take a while, then when you breathe in, you let the body expand, and then on your exhale, it's like from the pubic bone to the belly button, you just pull that triangle in a little bit. There is no movement of the body when that happens, and that's often the challenging thing. So the inhale, you can imagine also actually the triangle gets bigger, the exhale pulls in. And that in itself can be a what the is she? I don't understand. If to go a little bit deeper, you can, for ladies anyway, you draw up your personal private muscles, stopping the flow of urine, squeezing your vaginal muscles, and a little bit around your bum, a little bit there. Or you think of the bottom bones coming together. Again, there's no movement when that happens because it's an internal feeling. The gentleman watching out there, the best I can advise you, that a male said to me once, is tell a man to suck his, nuts to his guts. So try that, and then you get this tension here. Now here's the next challenge. If you do too much, there's a lot of tension. So it's very subtle. Sometimes you're like, am I doing anything? Maybe not. It really feels that little. Then, once you start having that, the other place is hands behind the back. They come close and the spine would be in between your fingers. And once you think that, you're like, okay, all right. When I move, my body doesn't move with me. Even when I bring my second leg up, my back didn't go into the floor and it didn't arch away from the floor. And that's the challenge for Pilates. It's like, hang on, when I move here and here and here, you don't let this happen. So which is why I often say, keep the move super small and bring awareness to your back, holding its position. And then the last thing, and I'm aware there's quite a lot, is that you want to feel that your stomach comes in and flat. If you do a second leg up and your belly goes boom, you didn't draw those deeper muscles in and up. The nuts to guts, or the lift of ladies, all about holes. There's a lot to that. It takes time. It doesn't necessarily happen immediately. And the same thing happens that when we do the sit-up this way, that neutral, my cup of coffee stays the same. The head comes in first, and as I sit up here, I only need to come up in this curl as far as I haven't pushed my spine down. That's it. Even here, my spine is still not touching the floor, which makes me work this bit. Otherwise you do this, and it scrunches. Our goal is to lengthen, which makes it quite challenging. And then even when we do all of these moves, I still have my coffee. Okay? There is a lot to take in right there. You might need to watch it a few more times. Please, as I said at the start, send me a message if something is like, oh, I don't understand. Again, if you feel your back pulling in some of the core work, we need to change something, because that's not our goal. It's this lift that we're aiming for. And it honestly, again, I say again, it does take time. Yeah, even years afterwards, I suddenly had to go back and revisit this lift and how much I was working too hard and what's the right amount, and it's just a play. So if you have some back problems, keep it simpler and easier for yourself. If you have no issues, great, go for the big moves. But every day can be a little bit different, especially if your back is a bit grumpy, which some days my dad does not want to play. So I take it back. As I say, write in, questions are very, very welcome, and that's what we live for, to assist you on your journey into good movement pattern. Thanks guys.